Hi, I'm Carrie, a stroke survivor and a member of Bind.
And I'm Kezia, stroke survivor and member of Bind as well. And today we're going to have our guest, who is actually a brain injury member of Bind too. And he's super special because as soon as we met him, he was like, when am I going to be in the podcast? So we're super excited to have him. His name is Bree, and he's here to share his story. So welcome, Bree.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Bindwaves, the official podcast of the Brain Injury Network of Dallas. I'm Brian White, Bind's Executive Director. On each episode, we'll be providing insight into the brain injury community. We'll be talking to members and professionals regarding their stories and the important role of Bind's Clubhouse. We work as a team to inspire hope, community, and a sense of purpose to survivors, caregivers, and the public. Thank you for tuning into Bindwaves. Let's get on with the show.
Yeah. So we kind of met you a little while ago, but just so people know a little bit about you, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Jabri. I'm born and raised on the west side of Chicago. I resided here in Dallas, Texas. I've been here over 10 years now. And I don't know too much what to say about myself.
There's so much. So much. So can you share a little bit about, when we met you, like, why are you a member of Bind? And, like, just, like, a little tiny bit of your story.
Okay. I was a innocent bystander. Was shot in the back of the head, uptown Dallas. And I'm still trying to recover since then. And I joined the Bind program to give me something to do, to help me out to get better, and also meet other people like me as well. So I've been part of Bind since earlier this year. I look forward to being here until I get better.
That's great. We're excited that you joined us, Bree. So
Thank you.
Just tell us, we all go through different emotions and different things as we recover from our brain injury. Yours is a little bit more unique. That I know you said they haven't found the shooter. You're still like up in the air with that. So how does that affect you emotionally? As much or as little as you want to share.
Yes, you know what? I think about my situation every day. But it's therapeutic for me to speak on it. That's my sign of relief. My thing of coping with it is by speaking on it. I was outside, actually. I was shot in the head, the back of the head, October 24th, 2021, uptown Dallas. I was actually just having a great night out. Was actually getting in my car, and as me getting in my car, I was shot in the back of the head. The bullet went through the back of the brain and came out through the front. I guess they was trying to pronounce that I was dead on the scene, but I was still there. I was still breathing, still there talking to God while I was waiting on the ambulance.
Yeah, I think your point of view about how talking about your story and your experience is important because it is therapeutic. I think that right now that you said it happened in 2021,
Yes.
Even though it's been basically about 3 years.
Going on 3 years, yes.
Right, and it feels like it's so new and it just happened. And it's so important that you are able to share it because it definitely, like on my point of view, like on my experience, it did take about 3 to 4 years for me, like, not to cry. And I had my point of view is like so different. And really you're basically the first person, I think, here on the podcast, and Carrie can correct me if I'm wrong, that's brain injury experience is not really due to our health, not due to your health. It was so surprising.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think you sharing your story is so important. Like, you're courageous self to be like, yeah, let me share this. So honestly, thank you so much for being here. Like Carrie said, if you ever feel like some limitations as to like, nah, I don't want to answer that question, you could totally say that.
Okay.
But because of the brain injury that you had, like, do you have any limitations, like anything that, you know, you at the moment of your recovery you couldn't do or you still are working on just because of the experience of the brain injury?
Yes. Before my injury came about, before I was shot in the back of the brain, I was very independent, very social, and a very hard worker. But due to that incident there, I was 28 years old when I got shot in the back of the head, very independent. And then just in the midst of being shot in the back of the head at 28 years old, it was like I became a newborn baby again. I became very dependent. I remember waking up, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk or eat. So at the age of 28 years old, I had to learn how to talk, walk, and eat again. And that blew my mind.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting because I didn't even know your age either. I was 28 when I had the stroke, and first of all, I don't think I could understand that there was something with me. I felt like it was a nightmare that was happening. So I couldn't even comprehend that, like, I was really in the hospital. But yeah, I get you that. Like, it's like you're a baby again. I mean, I went to university. I can't read. I can't talk. I can't walk. Like, it is mind blowing. So I get you with that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's the one common denominator that I feel like all brain injury people have is we all start over again as a baby. You know, Carl Heller teases everyone. He's like, we're the kids and the staff are the adults, you know. But all brain injury, you know, we all have to relearn a lot of things. We have to relearn how to walk, how to talk. Fortunately, I didn't have to relearn how to talk. I was 38. I was old compared to y'all when I had my stroke. But you know, that's okay.
Okay.
But I was paralyzed, had to relearn how to walk as well. But so, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, are there still things that you're having to relearn on a daily basis? That's kind of what we've been focusing a lot on this year is how different things change after a brain injury. Even as we start to get better and we start to heal, there's still things that we have to relearn on a daily basis. So what challenges are you done with therapy now? I know we were talking about your boxing right now, but is that your own personal way of therapy?
Oh, so yes, I just finished my therapy with Rehab Without Walls. They did a great job with me. They did a very great job, and I'm very appreciative for Rehab Without Walls. And I also went to a therapy program called PATE. Them folks helped me as well. They did a great job, PATE and Rehab Without Walls. So I thank you guys for helping me. And they built me up to where I'm at today. There's so many struggles I have on a day-to-day basis. I'm still dependent due to the healing. I'm still in my healing recovery right now, and I'm very much dependent still. But I work every day on trying to be independent again, and also try to enjoy my youth years as much as I can while I'm still here. You know, so every day I have a lot of struggles, but I try my best to overcome them.
Oh, yeah,
that's all.
You're still here. You get to live your second best life.
Yes. Exactly.
That's the way I try to look at it. But yeah.
Yes.
And I think I hear you say dependent a lot, and I just would like to give you some encouragement. And not that you're asking for it. You could totally be like, nah. But it's not going to be like that forever. You know, like sometimes I feel like I'm very dependent of like my mom because she's not technically, I think out of like motherhood and my experience, like my caregiver, but really she's also just my mom. This is like a normal mom would do to everyone. But like these are skills that also a lot of people would need to learn anyway. Like, I forgot my passwords for like my bank accounts. I forgot my passwords for everything, and they're still hard to remember. So how do we get through with this? Like, on a normal day-to-day life, like, how do we get back to being independent? And that's going to take a long time. Like, you know, it took me like 5 years to be able to drive. And then, you know, I just always hit a hiccup. So like, I can't be back to driving alone at the moment, but it'll come back, right? So it definitely takes a long time. But right now, you say you're dependent, so I'm just going to change that. Okay. Like, what support system do you have, you know?
Okay. My support system is my mother. I thank God for her all the time, because I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have my mom, especially in this type of situation I'm going through now. And I'm very thankful for her. And I would like to give her a shout out while you just brought up that question. Yeah. I would like to thank you, Mom. Thank you, Joanna Swanigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, how do you, like, what's your strategy? Like I said, you're not dependent. I think that there's days and there's ways that you but like, you have the support system. Like, how do you ask for help, or like, how in what ways is she supporting you?
Well, I know, once again, I'm very, I don't want to say prideful, but I'm a very stand-up guy, a very independent man. And, but to Mom, I'm still her baby, you know?
That doesn't stop to anybody.
Right. So, due to the injury, you know, I feel like a kid all over again due to Mom trying to help me recover and heal. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for me to kind of understand that, but I'm very grateful for it. And like you said, I'm not dependent. It's just, you know, a time and a phase that I'm going through due to the injury come about. But I also know that this thing, you know, will be a past for me.
Yeah.
Just a phase that I'm going through.
I totally understand where you're coming from, because I had my stroke, like I said, at 38. And because I was paralyzed, I couldn't live alone anymore. One, paralyzed, no money, can't live alone, so I had to move home with my parents. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm very thankful for my parents too. And probably one of the hardest things for me to do was ask for help.
Yes.
I'm like you. I'm very independent. I'm very prideful, and I was going to do it all on my own. Well, guess what, Carrie? You only have one hand that works. You can't do it all on your own.
Right.
But saying, Mom, can you do this for me? Or Dad, can you do this for me? Was one of the hardest things I had to realize. It's okay to ask for help. We all need a little bit of help. And I think that's a lot of what we try to do here at Bind is we're here to help each other. It's not just about me at Bind. It's about all of us as a group. We've all been there. Yes. We're all going through the same thing. So we're here to help each other through this recovery process, because recovery is lifelong. And we're very thankful that we will be your new support group along with your mom. We're here to support you and lift you up and help you become that independent man that we know you are.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But so do you think, when you're looking at it now, we're talking, and can you yet see any positives that have come out of this tragic event?
Yes. Like I like to tell people, I didn't know. Well, I used this term due to me being shot in the back of the head. It came all the way to the front of my eye, to the right side of my head, and caused me to be blind. And I'm on the right side of my eye. And like I tell people, I didn't lose an eye. I gained a third one. My whole world shifted. You know what? To have the spirit that I have, I can't think of nothing negative from the situation. I think nothing but positive because I sit back when I get the chance and have thoughts to myself. I said, oh man, it's like the injury caused me to be more, I don't want to say more positive, but more open-minded than I was. I always thought I've been open-minded, but this took me to a whole nother place. I'm sorry, I don't know how to word it correct.
No, you're good.
But yes, it did put me more off in a positive space. Actually, due to my injury, it caused me to lose everything that I own. And but it put me in a space to the point where I know things, I get that back. Okay, I lost this, I lost that, it'll come back again. When you've been at the very bottom of your life or the worstest part of your life, it's like, what else can, what can hurt me more than this here? So I take things and use it as the positive because I know it's just a phase and a stage that, things will be greater later. And that's how I look at things to get me through my situation today.
That's a wonderful attitude, and I love it. And I think that's going to be your biggest strength in getting back to where you want to be.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for saying that. I hope that everyone hears it as like your change of perspective, right? Like you just see everything super different.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a tiny little break and just remind all of our listeners that we do this every Thursday on your favorite platform to just watch or listen or both our podcast for Bindwaves. So I loved what you were saying right now because it's true. Like, I think that too, actually. Like, how can it get any worse? Right. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it could get any worse, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a good perspective to have. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like justifying what just happened. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what, but it happened, and it's just a hiccup of my life. I mean, it hurt. Like, it was really hard to get over, right? Or not get over, but be able to talk about it. But it's not going to be forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you've had, like, pretty much, again, you're pretty courageous to be talking about it. I mean, that's 2021, and we're in 2024. Like, I would not be you. Like, I would still be like, I don't want to talk about it. I hate you doctors that ask me all the questions. Like, I would not be at that place. Mm-hmm. But like, currently what you're doing, it's like out of rehabilitation. Like, what did you learn from rehabilitation that you're currently using? Now that you don't have the physical therapist, you don't have the speech pathologist, like you don't have, occupational therapy. What did you learn from there that you are now using now on your own?
Well, the programs, they did teach me so much, and everything that they has taught me so far, I use it in my everyday life. Mm-hmm. Everything, even from the time I have to be up, versus me just sleeping in the morning. I take that, as simple as something like that, I take it. Well, I know I have to be up, get that get that in my routine as a daily habit. Mm-hmm. Them people help me out a lot. It's so much.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah. I know Carrie said it already, but tell our listeners that you're doing like boxing. Like, what does that do for you? I'm like, don't keep it a secret.
Okay.
Well, that's the mojo it gives you, so we can try to do it too.
Well, I know I couldn't just sit in the house forever and not do nothing. It was very difficult for me to even learn how to walk and run, to even want to exercise. I knew that was going to be very challenging for me, but I said, man, I can't let nothing stop me. If a bullet to the head couldn't stop me, nothing else can. So I kind of took that as my mentality and got into boxing. I wanted to get in boxing just so I could stay in shape because my my movement is limited due to my injury. But I just know I couldn't just sit home and just blow up.
Yeah.
So I got into boxing. When I got into boxing, they taught me how to, I guess, speed walk into jogging into running. And, you know, it kind of built me up. And when I got there, I kind of fell in love with it. It kept a lot of weight down off of me. It helped me out mentally and physically, of course. And it just got me wanting to stay more in shape now. And the more I box and the more I get in shape, the more focused I become, the more the more I know that things better are about to come about.
Yeah.
As I told you guys earlier, I went from not walking,
Right.
talking, or eating to now doing all those things that I couldn't do.
And I think what you said is very important is you need a routine. I mean, that's one thing that I learned early on, too, is you can't just sit at home. So,
Right.
like the day neuro program that I went to, which is similar to a PATE, they wouldn't graduate us until we got a volunteer job.
Oh, okay.
So I had, so I went from doing 5 days a week of therapy to 2 days a week of just volunteering and 3 days being at home. But yeah, like you, I realized you need a routine, because if you just sit around and do nothing, you're going to lose all that process, all that progress that you've already put into your recovery, and you don't want to do that. So that kind of leads me to a question that I haven't asked in just our regular everyday talks. How did you hear about us? How did you hear about Bind?
Actually, I actually heard from you guys from my neurologist. I had an appointment. I was telling Mom once I came home, hey, I got to find something to do. I just don't want to sit here and not do nothing. And my neurologist, she said, hey, try this program called Bind. And I was so curious and interested in doing it, signed myself up and made it happen.
That's great.
And I'm here with you guys.
That's awesome. Because it's a great part of, our routine, When I first started, I came 5 days a week, and that got overwhelming after a while, so I don't come 5 days a week anymore. But I stay busy. But yeah, but that's great that you heard from a neurologist. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say PATE or Rehab Without Walls. Interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I actually really like that you're interested in coming. I think that's also good that you had your own push, right?
Oh, yes.
And then right now, do you have any goals for your upcoming, your goals, whether they're mini or big, whatever they are, for your future, and how much you're investing in yourself? Do you have any goals?
Oh, yes. My goals overall goals are just to be a better version of me than I once was before my injury. Just being mentally, physically, spiritually, just try to be the best that I can be. That's all. That's my main goal, and overall.
That's great. I love it. So, you're a fairly new brain injury survivor. Is there anything that you'd like to share to our listeners and or just new survivors that you learned for a positive to them for recovering in the beginning of recovery? Anything you want to let people know?
Yes. For all the brain injury people and the future brain injury people coming about, just keep going. Please don't stop. The more you keep going, the better you're going to become. Yep. That's all I have to say. Just keep going.
Couldn't agree with you anymore.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. You're going to have your mental breakdowns. Go through your depression, your stress. But just keep going. The moment you stop, it's when it all starts falling down. But you keep going, it's going to keep getting better for sure.
I 100% agree with you, Bree. That is a great mentality to have, and I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad to see your positivity. That makes me smile and makes me happy.
Thank you.
But we do appreciate you so much for having the courage to come on and share your story, because it's not our normal brain injury story that we share. So thank you so much for being part of our podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
And of course, not only thank you guys that are listening, but of course, if you would like to contact us from Bind and the podcast, you can always email us at bindwaves@thebind.org. Follow our Instagram account, which is, of course, at bindwaves, and visit our website, which is thebind.org/bindwaves. And of course, if you are interested in any of becoming either a member like Bree, you can always go on our website and fill out the forms.
And again, don't forget to click that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, and if you're on YouTube, that notify button, and just continue listening on all your favorite platforms.
Like I said earlier, every Thursday you will find us in your favorite platform, so don't miss out. Until next time. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Bind Waves and continue to support Bind and our nonprofit mission. We support brain injury survivors as they reconnect into the life, the community, and their workplace.
And we couldn't do that without great listeners like you. We appreciate each and every one of you. Continue watching. Until next time.